Hello, I'm Trop and welcome to another commentary type video once again. This time with different background gameplay, so yeah, that's something new. So the main topic of the video is artificial intelligence and why that's a bad thing. Not necessarily a bad thing, but how potentially future governments will use it for like nefarious purposes and this. Maybe, potentially, I mean look at China. And short brief history of it because it is pretty interesting and obviously has a lot to offer in various avenues of public life and functioning of society. So let's do this. So ever since the launch of ChatGPT in 2022, there's been, renewed interest in that very topic. There's mostly people impressed by the fact that they can, input some prompt and get a fairly cohesive, response from the program. And obviously, people used it to their advantage and subsequently did some pretty bad things. And obviously, there's kind of like a boom of other websites, other programs that could kind of replicate that with varying levels of success. Many programs varying in their inputs. Some for image generation and some for the generation of lines of code and stuff like that. Thing that people don't really realise is that AI has been on the internet for a very long time, with various social medias using AI for the moderation of the algorithms and checking for then filtering out inappropriate content and this. And then obviously you've got people who use bots for the advantage to promote scams and this. And actually yesterday I got a sort of a subscription notice on my Gmail, and it was a very shady looking channel basically with Mr. Beast and this, and I clicked on the one single video that channel had, and it was obviously AI generated using Jimmy's voice to basically promote this scam, which obviously looks really bad considering the things he's been accused of. And then you've got people who are using it on mass scale, creating literally hundreds of accounts promoting the same scam, saying the same things, sometimes, funnily enough, to manipulate the algorithm, which itself is AI. So it's kind of like a weird feedback loop, if you will. Not to make this kind of like an internet safety video, but basically in the future there's going to be more of this, because basically AI is self-repairing, it follows Moore's law, it gets better and advanced every few months, ChatGPT updates itself every few months and gets better. As we've seen with image generating websites in the past, we literally went from crappy Marcus Brownlee, Will Smith eating spaghetti to basically hyper-realistic science fiction scene, just a few minutes long, which were AI generated, and I think only like 2 years apart, probably even less. You need to watch it. It's crazy how much it's improved. I'd say we're in kind of like a dilemma when it comes to this technology, because it's probably gonna soon replace the internet in terms of entertainment value. It's obviously the internet's still gonna be there, but I have a feeling the entertainment value and the interaction value has kind of died down a bit ever since the 2010s, and that might be replaced by AI generated content very soon. And obviously, people have been complaining about that on this very website, because there's just this abundance of AI generated content now, and TikTok even more so, supposedly, from what I've heard. I've got a friend who uses it, and he says that there's just maybe like 20% of it is already like AI generated content. I suppose with that website, because it's short form content and everything is more or less dumbed down, it's probably easier to get away with that, more so on that website than here on YouTube for now. And that's just the internet. Then the moral dilemma goes into real life as well, and you've got various criminals using it for nefarious purposes, which I don't even want to get to, and really criminal stuff. Not on the same scale that the stuff I'm doing now in the gameplay, but I find it very interesting from what was just a research project in the 1950s in Princeton University. Became so advanced. Because if you don't know, it's basically a research project is mostly focused on what was needed to create general intelligence, and there's a whole lot of linguistic semantics with that, because they basically a bit later they wanted to create a language solving system. Also around that time they started constructing systems that could solve very quick and simple word puzzles and problems, which more or less worked thanks to the further advancement of linguistics. But sometime in the late 1970s, a lot of funding was abandoned since many goals were over-optimistic. And I believe there's this one quote from one of the programmers, basically, sometime in the late 60s, I think, no, early 70s. And he said, in 20 years, artificial intelligence will achieve general human intelligence, and it's just going to be. In reality, AI was just used in game competitions such as chess and Go, and subsequently won in 1997, I think. But it wasn't perfect, right? It was just programmed to work well in one very narrow fields of study. So there's that. Also around that time there was this quiz show in America called Jeopardy, and at one point there's this AI machine. I think it was created by IBM. It's called Deep Blue, and it had to compete with the contestants, and it won, obviously, because they ran literally, I think, thousands of trials and errors, but at the end of the day it was just good in one really specific narrow field. And there's just answering stupid trivia questions, But now we've got advanced chatbot that can do a whole bunch of things, from creating images, finishing homework assignments, bureaucratic work, concising a book, And you've got other ChatGPT applications and services which are even more advanced, and they can be used for a variety of other things, such as manipulating algorithms on social media. And it's one of those services that people are using on websites such as Twitter to promote scams, or create bot accounts, and just generally creating content farms on the internet. It really makes the internet look dead. But yeah, it's a very interesting topic that I want to talk about more, read more about Game 2, and I think more people should do so, because it's going to be very big in the future, and it's going to be very advanced, and if you don't know how to cope with that, that's probably not going to be good. But yeah, anyway, that's it. Bye.